What's up everybody, I am Legend with iZotope, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to record rap vocals on your iPhone with the free Spire application, discussing different techniques used in popular songs, from how to process your vocals to how to deliver your vocals to get a really dope song that sounds like this.
I could tell you a story about my life, how I came up from a graveyard, I was way down, how I had to pick myself up off the ground so I could rise, become an icon.
That's it. Let's get into it. Now, first things first, we have to import our music. And if you want to check out one of our previous videos that shows how to do this in detail, you can do so in the card linked in this video. Also, for the best results, you want to make sure you're wearing a pair of wired headphones, not something that's Bluetooth, because there's going to be a lot of audio delay when you're recording, and you don't want to record without any headphones at all because it's going to pick up some of the sound from your instrumental in the microphone. Now, when it comes to monitoring yourself and being able to hear your voice when you record, there's two ways to do this. So you can either use the monitoring button here. When you turn that on, you can hear yourself talk through the headphones. But what I like to do is I take one ear off because I don't want to hear myself digitally. I can hear myself in real time, my actual voice. So your preference could be different than mine, but whichever way you choose is fine. Now, also along in this record tab is our section to write down different notes. And I typically use this to write down my lyrics so that when I'm rapping my song, especially when I've freshly written the lyrics, I can look at the lyrics as I'm rapping it so that I don't miss any of my lines. This is something that's really useful, I find. Also, another really cool thing about this window is that when you're looking at the lyrics, you're angling the phone down. So instead of getting those hard plosives when you record the phone directly pointing at your mouth, you can hold it like this, read your lyrics, and also be able to avoid those harsh plosives. Now, I typically hold the phone about a foot away from my face. That way it's typically not too far, but also not too close to where you get those punchy, like poopy sounds when you're singing or rapping. And also in this case, when we use sound check, it's going to further set our vocals to the right level so that we have everything sounding smooth when we record. But speaking of sound check, that's actually the very first thing that we want to do before we start recording our song. So I'll tap on the play button on our music. I'll tap on sound check, start rapping lines from our song in the exact way that I would if I was recording. That way it can match our levels to the intensity that we're going to rap at, and then we'll be good to go.
What would you say at a party?
I could tell you a story about my life, how I came up from a graveyard, I was way down, how I had to pick myself up off the ground so I could rise, become an icon now, step to my enemies. So we have our vocals, and now we're ready to go. So there are different ways to recording rap vocals, and the first way is going to be one that's actually implemented throughout the other two that I'm going to talk about today, but it's just recording a basic lead vocal, and that's it. Keep it nice and simple. And a lot of rap artists out here like Drake and Kanye West utilize this specific approach where they don't add too much to what they're saying. They just record one lead, one and done. I would say this method is most useful for a story-driven song, so one where the content of the message is the highlight of what's being heard rather than the sound of what's being heard. So artists like Drake or Kanye West, they're very much storytellers, so that's why they utilize this a lot. So in this case, I am telling a story in this song, so I want to record just one lead vocal, and we'll see how that goes.
What would you say at a party?
I could tell you a story about my life, how I came up from a graveyard, I was way down, how I had to pick myself up off the ground so I could rise, become an icon now, step to my enemies and I take a bow. The show must go on, stadium crowds, some of y'all look at me and they say wow, but I'm not conceited, dude, I just believe now. So I have my first verse recorded here, but let's say I had an idea to approach this verse with different inflections at different points. Now you can do one of two things. Like me, I like to just get it one and done, record it, and then move on once I decide what I'm going to do. But in other cases, if you want to add another track underneath the one you just did, record your rap all over again with those different inflections and then choose between the two, you can do that as well. Another useful tip for when you're recording your rap lead is if you need time to punch in, so like you have too many lyrics happening all at once and you have no time to breathe, you can always use a second track to punch yourself in when you need to. So in this case, I'll navigate to the end of what I just recorded, and then I'll punch myself in and start recording the next section of that verse.
Stadium crowds, some of y'all look at me and they say wow, but I'm not conceited, dude, I just believe now.
And if you really wanna know just how I feel about these dudes leaving me, not a big deal, cause I'm used to deception, I'm used to lies, I just take it all in so I can utilize. This is a way to keep the listener engaged and add a little bit of spice to your vocals without going too overboard or detracting from that lead vocal. So a way to approach this would be to add these emphasis notes on the end of your lines. Every time you say something, you just repeat that line, or you repeat a phrase or a word that fills in those breaks. Now, artists like Ryan Leslie, when he does his raps, or Jim Jones are perfect examples of this. So if you want to take a look at some of their previous work to see how it's done, you can do that. But in this case, I'll show you myself what I would do in this situation.
What would you say at a party? I could tell you a story about my life, how I came up from a graveyard, I was way down, how I had to pick myself up off the ground so I could rise, become an icon now. Step to my enemies and I take a bow. Woo. The show must go on, stadium crowds. Some of y'all look at me and they say wow. Woo. But I'm not conceited, dude, I just believe now.
Something like that, you know what I mean? We'll go ahead and let that simmer, let that do what it's gonna do, and get into way number 3, which is going to be adding stacks to add emphasis to your rap lines. Now, this is a method that I would say is a little bit more old school because it's not used as prominently as it used to be back in the early 2000s and the 90s. However, it's still a very useful method to use because Kendrick Lamar is a very good example of someone who uses stacked vocals in their raps very well. What I like to do is mostly stack my rhyming lines. It could be my rhyming words or phrases, and that way it adds emphasis to that part to further drive home the point of what's being said and also give the audience some memorability. They remember that line more because there was that emphasis on that line that has the stacking. So now I'm going to record 2 stacked vocals referencing the rhyming phrases or words in my verses, and then we'll take it from there.
What would you say at a party? I could tell you a story about my life, how I came up from a graveyard, I was way down, how I had to pick myself up off the ground so I could rise, become an icon now. Step to my enemies and I take a bow. The show must go on, stadium crowds. Some of y'all look at me and they say wow, but I'm not conceited, dude, I just believe now.
So now that we've talked about all of the ways to record rap vocals in the FreeSpire application, let's talk about how to mix them so that they sound cohesive and harmonious together. We'll tap on the mix tab, and here first we'll start with the levels. Now you can see I've already done some quick work to mix these vocals so that everything kind of serves its purpose. The leads are sitting in the forefront and the background vocals are sitting in the background. And you can do that by basically tapping on the mics on the left-hand side, dragging up and down to adjust the volume. So my leads are gonna be at the top, my instrumental is smack dab in the middle, and then my background vocals are below the instrumental and my stacked vocals as well. I like to drag those down so that they're not overpowering the instrumental or interfering with the lead vocal. So now that we've already set the levels of our vocals, what I like to do is process my vocals so that they can serve their own purpose in their own space in the soundscape. So for my ad-libs, for instance, I want to switch these from narrow to wide so that they get a more stereo sound, and that differentiates the lead from those ad-libs. So all I have to do is go ahead, tap on the ad-lib vocal, tap on narrow, and now we have a stereoized vocal here.
I could tell you a story about my life, how I came up from a graveyard, I was way down, how I had to pick myself up off the ground so I could rise, become an icon now.
Okay, I think that sounds good. So next I want to work with our stacks. Now in this case, I'm going to tap narrow to wide on both of these as well because I always do that with my stacked vocals in the Spire application, but also I want to pan the vocals on top of that. That way I get a really wide sound with these particular stacked vocals. So to pan, we'll just drag them to the left and to the right. I won't do it all the way. And so now what we should have, since our stacked vocals are both panned to each side, they're set to wide, and they're also turned down on volume, they should sit pretty well in the background without interfering into the rest of the song, but still be heard. Another way that I like to differentiate my lead vocals from my ad-libs and my stacks is to add effects to these vocals individually to characterize them using the free trial of Spire Pro. It's with this free trial that you can access the effects tab, Inspire Me, and many different options. So specifically, the second part of the verse that I recorded, it has a little bit of a tone to it where I'm singing, so I want to add some tune to that. So I'll go tap on effects, I'll slide over to tune, and I'll apply some major tune to that right there.
best believe now. And if you really wanna know just how I feel about these dudes leaving me, not a big deal.
So do. So if you have some vocals in there that have some melodic tone to it, you can use tune to differentiate that part of that verse. Now for the first part of the verse, I'm gonna use this Inspire Me button to see if I can randomize some different effects onto that lead vocal to make it stand out from the others. So I'll tap Inspire Me, we'll tap play, and then just see what we get.
I could tell you a story about my life, how I came up from a graveyard, I was way down, how I had to pick myself up off the ground so I could rise, become an icon now. To my enemies and I take a bow. The show must go on stadium crowds. Some of y'all look at me and they say wow.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool right there. I like that. So you can see why Inspire Me is great, because it literally inspires you to create different sounds and to record different things. But I went ahead and applied this effect, Zesty Charisma, and so we're gonna see how that sounds.
What would you say at a party? I could tell you a story about my life, how I came up from a graveyard, I was way down, how I had to pick myself up off the ground so I could.
I love how this sounds. I love how this sounds. So I'm really glad with that decision. So lastly, with our stacked vocals, the way that I want to process these is kind of like in the way that Kendrick Lamar would TDE, by using the low shift format feature in the effects tab. So we'll tap effects on our vocal, we'll tap on low shift and adjust the format right here. We'll tap apply, do the same with our other vocal, and then we'll tap play.
What would you say at a party? I could tell you a story about my life, how I came up from a graveyard, I was way down, how I had to pick myself up off the ground so I could rise, become an icon now.
I love how this sounds. I love it. So I'm ready to share. It's time to share. So now what I'm gonna do is export the song as a Spire project so that I can send it off to maybe a friend who's collaborating on this song with me. We can do that by tapping the share icon next to the Pro one, then tapping Spire Project, tapping share via link. It creates the link. And let's say this time I wanna email it to somebody, we'll just tap mail. And then I can send it to whoever I wanna send it to. And then we'll go ahead and tap send. And now the song has been sent. Our collaborator can come on and record whatever they need to record, and we can release the song once we're ready. So once you've recorded your song, the decision is yours on how you want to release the song and put it out there. But this was how to record a rap song using the free Spire application and some of the features from the free trial of Spire Pro. So be sure to give both of those a try in the App Store today. You guys hear the results that I'm able to get with this, so trust me, it's very useful. Thank you guys for watching. As always, stay legendary. I'll see you next time.